My name is Ayca. I'm a developer advocate at Microsoft. And in today's session, we are actually starting off a new series under the Copilot Developer Camp. We're going to talk about the new labs we just released under the Custom Engine Agents section. So what we are going to do over the few weeks is that we will step by step learn how to build an agent using Agent Framework and Microsoft 365 Agents SDK for custom engine agents. And our scenario is pretty complex, so it's not going to take us only a single week to complete this, but I'm sure so many of you will be interested in using Foundry IQ with Azure AI Search, vision analysis services with an multimodal setup using Mistral. We also have some document search with policy. We have Work IQ API usage, MCP tools. So this is actually an enterprise level agent. We try to come up with a scenario where we can show an actual production ready agent built from zero to everything in one place. And if you stay up with us in the series, you will learn a lot about all of those components and how you can add them in your own agent too. So in today's session, we will start very easy and we will talk about the prerequisites and how to build and run your agent with plugins and tools you build using Agent Framework. And I will jump right in starting with the prerequisites. Just let me know in the chat how many of you work with custom engine agents before. I'm quite interested in seeing how many of you know about Microsoft 365 Agents SDK. And you can definitely ask your questions along the way. Even if I don't have time in the end, I will definitely go through the chat and answer the questions after. But M365 Agents SDK is actually the component that handles messaging between our agent and the channel we're using. For example, channel can be Teams or M365 Copilot. And Agent Framework is the orchestration layer we use for architecting everything we build in custom engine agents. Agent Framework can be replaced with anything like LangChain or any other orchestration SDK you would like to use. But in this lab, we are going through into Agent Framework. We know the interest coming from semantic kernel. So this is the new SDK that actually wraps the semantic kernel. So I'm sure so many of you will be interested in this. Setup is very straightforward. If you are into Microsoft 365, you will know that we need the Teams custom application uploads enabled, and then we need some setup in our environment. So in this lab, we just wanted to go ahead and use VS Code. So most of us are pretty comfortable with VS Code. Our our exercise is in .NET. So make sure to install .NET 9. So we need to be up to date with the .NET version 2. Because we are using VS Code, we will need a C# Dev Kit extension. On top of that, we're going to use M365 Agents Toolkit, Azure CLI for some Azure setup, DevTunnel, which is a must-have for us, Azure Functions for later in the series, you will see why, and we need some Azure environment setup. If you don't have Azure subscriptions, I highly recommend you to just use a free tier and don't worry about using any paid version. And the most important part of this prerequisite is actually this section where we set up the Foundry. For this sample, for this example, we're using a couple of models, actually multimodal structure we're building here using Foundry models. So we will need Foundry, and it will take a couple of minutes to create the Foundry resource and project. On top of that, we're going to use GPT 4.1. But if you want to experiment with 5 or other models, not just GPTs, feel free to do that. We will need a text embedding model for some of our vector search setup with Azure AI Search. And after that, we will be ready to do some customization. The reason why we need this configuration content safety filter is two things. So the first thing is that our agent is an insurance agent where we talk about a lot of injuries, collision, damage, etc. Those words can be triggered, can be triggering to our agent, and we can easily hit content safety filter. And the second thing is that you can actually customize anything you do in these models. And the good thing is that the content safety filter can be customized too. So you can just go ahead and create your own. What we're going to do here is that we're going to create a filter which is the sensitivity is low for those words, for example, like damage and fire, etc., all those things, so that we can actually communicate with our agent. And after that, you'll be ready to go. Just quickly, I want to show you how I did that setup. These are my models I'm using throughout the agent building, and the main model I'm using is GPT 4.1. For the image, later in the steps, you will see that we will ask you to create Mistral as well. But if you don't at the beginning, that's also fine. And we will need text embedding for anything related to vector, and if you need to create embedding, etc. You also see extra GPT 4.0 mini. The reason is that I experiment back and forth between the models, how they act and if they're performing better, etc. If you have any comments, or if you experiment with the different models before, and if you suggest something different in our exercise, please let me know. I'm quite interested about your experience too. And also, if you quickly go into, sorry, not here, but GPT-4, what I wanted to show you is the custom filter. I'm not sure if I can show right here. But you can actually apply the custom filters right here. Yeah, I'm just using the new Foundry dashboard. That's why I don't know where it is, but you can create your own filter and apply on top of the model as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but we definitely need custom model. If this is your main model, then you will have to have a custom setup for the insurance agent we are creating. Okay. And what is expected in our agent? Quickly, just to show you, this is our insurance agent. And when I say hi or what do you do, basically my expectation is to get some information about the claims. For example, if I give a claim number, or if I ask what is the current status of this claim, etc., all these things, I'm expecting to get some information from my claim agent. And the whole idea is to build this agent from scratch with nothing at the beginning and just a welcome message like this, and then building on top of this with the vision analysis, policy search, and all those advanced capabilities that we would need in a custom engine agent. So today we are looking into a very getting started level custom engine agent, but don't forget that in the upcoming weeks we will be advancing this agent with multimodal setup, with vision analysis. So this agent will be capable to do more things. Like this agent will have multiple skills available within one conversation. So how does our agent look like at the moment? Because you showed what is my aim. My aim today is very getting started. I'm just going to focus on the code and how things look like. First of all, if you get started with our labs, you will see that, okay, let me go back a step and show you what is expected in the first exercise. In the first exercise, you are actually expected to clone the repo and start with the begin source code. In the begin source code, I will quickly show you what we have. So this is basically our source code. I know that it looks like we have a lot going on, but actually this is a very basic setup of an agent. We just have an agent folder and plugins folder. So you can consider plugins as skills of the agent. Every new skill we are adding into an agent will become a plugin for us. And anything related to our agent app will go under the app package. And if we quickly have a look at the manifest, I will quickly scroll down and show you that our agent is also available in Copilot. And we will update the comments available for our agent too. Currently, it is quite fundamental, basically like what can you do, what is today's date, tell me about insurance claims, etc. All these beginner level things, but in the future we will be advancing the questions and things we can ask to this agent too. And if you look at the setup of our agent, and if I need to walk you through the structure of an agent framework, that it is actually very easy to read through if you're a .NET developer. And if you're a .NET developer also, please drop that in the chat. I want to see how many .NET developers are in the comment call today. So we actually start the custom agent with an agent application. An agent application includes agent instructions. The instructions is everything we add in the agent covers, we need to cover all of the plugins, all of the skills in the instructions too. So here, if you have a look, we have a very short instruction right now, but this will become like lines of instructions in the future. What we can do at the moment is available under the tools, and there's not much we can do. What we can do is just we can, whenever someone asks about what can you do, can you help me, etc., we triggered start conversation plugin. And whenever someone asks current date time, we trigger date time function tool. And the question is, how can our agent trigger all of these tools from just the instructions? It's not actually just the instructions. If we scroll down our agent, you will see that after all of these welcome message, etc., in on message async, you will realize that we are actually adding all of these plugins as tools later on. So start conversation plugin is right here created, and tool options, the tools that add will actually cover start conversation plugin too. Same for date time function tools. We actually have to add all of the plugins we are utilizing in the agent through tool options so that our agent will use these as new skills that is available and registered for its own skill set. So as you can imagine, later in step 2, step 3, step 4, when we add vision skill, like policy search skill, all of these new skills, you will be adding more and more tool options and new tools underneath because you will be having new plugins. And let's quickly have a look how plugins actually look like. For example, let's start with the Start Conversation plugin. Start Conversation plugin is no more than a welcome message. We are just defining here what agent can do. Later on, you will be also adding new things in this list. You'll be adding stuff like, can you analyze my car damage from the image, or can you do a policy search if my policy is covering this car accident, etc. All those advanced questions will be covered later on. But I don't know if you realize that skills are no more than a method. So that means that underneath the skills, you can pretty much do anything you like. In datetime function tool, for example, is another skill we have, another plugin. And this is also something totally different than the Start Conversation plugin. That means that any functionality you add here under the plugins, as long as you register that functionality as a tool for your agent, you'll be able to utilize that too. Of course, later on, we will add services for the vision capability, search capability, and conversation understanding capability, all those things. And our agent will become more and more complex. But for now, I hope this was a really easy introduction for you to getting started with custom agents. And even though the source code looks complex, it's actually not that complex if you dig into the agent framework, and you'll see that it's actually very easy to get started. Because I have 3 extra minutes, I also want to quickly show you what is coming next in the series. So later in the upcoming weeks, we will be focusing on document search with Azure AI Search. And after that, we'll be focusing on vision analysis with Mistral AI, where we will be utilizing some of the pre-indexed images, and we will be asking questions about those images, like analyzing and creating a report about the incident, etc., all those things. And after that, we will be creating a policy search. We will be indexing and creating new knowledge sources with policy index. Here you will learn that we can actually create multiple knowledge sources for our knowledge base in Azure AI Search. And we will add the communication capability where we send out a report for our customers about the situation, about the status of the insurance claim. And then Paulo later on will talk about the WorkIQ API and how you can utilize WorkIQ API for SharePoint site search and for the policy documents. And then we will close out with MCP tools, integration, and custom engine agent. So this will become like a full-fledged functioning custom engine agent week by week. I hope you will enjoy it.